Shalom, shalom, all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Ba'asham Racha Kwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone, and salutations to all you sincere camp. And I recently discovered this individual, Professor Black Truth. The whole new black media thing, Tariq Nasheed, Jason Black, and so on and so forth. And these men have been giving me, great information concerning Esau, Edom, and the wickedness of these devils, okay, especially during the captivity of our people, during the transatlantic slave trade, and how far these devils have gone against our people, because what you see happening on the earth right now, showing that we truly are at the end, is a detailed expose on the evils that Esau Edom has done all over the earth, especially to Jake in Babylon the Great and to Jake, here in West Africa as well. And this is another example of that. And the title of this video is Who Owes Us Reparations by Professor Black Truth, Part 1, 2, and Parts 1, 2, and 3. And when we talk about this whole reparations movement, we understand, okay, and I believe that, Tariq Nasheed and so on and so forth, and all the people that are for these reparations as well understand that, you can't really put a monetary value on the captivity which our people have suffered under Esau Edom, okay? Which is why we that are in this truth, the men of the Lord from the other apostles on down are against, this whole idea of reparations, because, actually it's a waste of time, because all that really is going into is you are trying to gain something in a kingdom that is about to be destroyed. You're trying to heap for yourselves or seek after treasures, okay, or recompense for yourself in a kingdom that's about to be destroyed. And even though the scriptures clearly tell you, and the funny thing is that, I'm not even against reparations, okay. I believe that, if Jake wants to go out there and get some of that, let them go and get some of that. But the major problem with that mindset of focusing on reparations is that if you put your mind on, getting reparations in this kingdom that is about to be taken out, that is about to be destroyed, what happens is that you are taking, your mind away from this truth and focusing on this world, okay, and the wickedness of this world, or rather, so that, yeah, tongue twister right there, or rather the ways of this world. And we know what the scriptures say, and especially what our Lord Yahushua said, wait you upon me, okay? So that cannot me, but wait you upon our Lord Yahushua. So this is the book of Zephaniah 3 verse 8. Therefore wait you upon me, saith Yahweh, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. And what is the reason why the Most High has a great anger, great indignation, great, fire of his jealousy to pour upon all the nations, not, some of the nations, not, just the nations, but it says all the nations here. In other words, all the heathen and Esau Edom, because of the captivity that our people had suffered under the hands of Esau Edom and the other nations as well. Because you other nations also took part in our captivity. You took part in the transatlantic slave trade, because it was a global, system. And that is why I was even doing this video, because in this video right here, but this is the beauty of the Most High Yahweh Shami Oshai. We might not agree on, the whole reparations thing, but through these reparations, a lot of the crimes and the evils of Esau Edom against our people are being exposed. Because now these devils want to fight against it. They're asking, oh, what do you need reparations for? Slavery was a long time ago. And now these men are out here bringing out all the receipts on Esau Edom, showing you that, the wealth that these devils gain from slavery is still very much active and moving within their communities to this day, okay? Showing you that how all their institutions, the schools, the banks, the government, the infrastructure, the roads, the piers, the transportation, the so I can try to think of the other, and the power grid, everything was based off was done, okay, of the captivity, of the backs of our people when we were in captivity. And now it's showing you, okay, now these devils and their crimes are being exposed, and you're now seeing just how much they owe and just how much evil they have done to our people. So let me just play a short, clip from this, which is basically to me, the highlights, of, or the rather the focal point of this video, because as you can see, this is a 1 hour video, so it's better to just play a single clip. What I want you to really bring out, and if I, I don't really want to say too much because I don't really know who the two men that you see on the thumbnail are right now. Okay, I believe, let me just leave it at that. But let me play this video.
In the years following America's victory in that war, deep debt continued to hang over Jefferson. He sought repayment plans with his European creditors and used his slaves, whom he listed by name, as collateral against that repayment. In this regard, Jefferson was at the leading edge of a blossoming trend. Although tobacco eventually yielded to cotton, an entire financial services industry emerged from slave-backed loans before the Civil War, through what one economic historian called an orgy of bank creation.
And basically, this is going into the origins of the banks. So even your international bank account, that's your, the secret elites of this world, your international banking families, or your small hard banking families, their wealth became established through the transatlantic slave trade as well by Jake. And it shows you that America, okay, your founding fathers, George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, so on and so forth, were deeply involved in the transatlantic slave trade. And it wasn't just using slaves to grow cotton or to grow tobacco, but they were even using them as collateral for loans. In other words, basically, these are our people, and this is where what makes me go to this precept right here, as it is written, and they have sold a boy for a harlot, and it's like a girl for a harlot, and a boy for wine that they might drink. I've forgotten how that precept goes. Let me just get it right here. Showing you how little, showing you how the lives of our people, okay, was, showing you how the lives of our people what's the lives of our people. So I can try to figure out the best way to say this. Showing you what the lives of our people were to Esau Edom. So this is the book of Joel 2, Joel 3 verse 2. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Yehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. And all the nations were involved in this, because I will still play more of that video and to clearly tell you about how the transatlantic slave trade, and of course we already know this was a global event. Now, of course, the Tariq Nasheed and them only focus on the Southern Kingdom's portion of the transatlantic slave trade, because you have to remember that, slaves were also being carried from the Americas to other parts of the world as well. And that was the Northern Kingdom. They were also a part of the slave trade. I forgot what they call it, the triangular slave trade, yes. The triangular slave trade. So it was all of our people that were put into captivity, as it is written. Judah and Israel were oppressed together, and them that held them fast and refused to let them go. And I'll get that precept next. But let me finish this first. Joel 3 verse 3. And they have cast lots for my people, which is exactly what they did, setting up Jake for loans. Basically, they use, you could insure your slaves. You could use your slaves as collateral for loans. You could use your slaves as collateral for basically, still the same thing, loans. You could rent out slaves now for various companies to use to build railroads, to use to build their buildings, and so on and so forth. So now Joel 3 verse 3, and they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. And this is exactly what was going on during the transatlantic slave trade. The lives of our people were seen as nothing, and our bodies were seen as nothing more than a commodity, okay? Nothing more than currency, a full-grown Jake, right? A child, a baby, a woman, an old man, and you already know what it is concerning the transatlantic slave trade. Esau Edom did not even look at age, both young and old, they were all being put into captivity. And basically, Jake was nothing more than a commodity at this time. Okay, and this was how our people were treated during that period. But these devils will come out and tell you that we should just forget about it. It happened a long time ago. But the wealth that was created from that transatlantic slave trade, they can keep it. The laws and legislations that were created in order to support Edomites and to make them and put them at the top and Jake at the bottom, because as laws were being made to give Esau Edom the advantage, you know, and of course he also goes into that in this video as well. There were also laws being made to put Jake at the bottom. That's why you have your Jim Crow laws, you have the segregation laws, the anti-miscegenation laws, so on and so forth. And Esau Edom even had its own laws, basically some immigration loans and things like that. Okay, the GI Bill, once again Jim Crow, once again segregation laws. Okay, whatever laws that were being made to uplift Esau Edom were made to put our people down at the bottom. And this was a global affair, okay, not just limited to America but Babylon the Great, because Joe could come out here and say, oh, well, my ancestors were slaves because I came from I came from this part of the world, I came from West Africa. But what you don't understand is that the slavery that we're talking about, okay, the captivity of our people is a global affair, not just something that was limited to America, Babylon the Great. Okay, so now let's get these precepts. The first one, Judah and Israel going into the transatlantic. It's like the triangular slave trade. Okay, they were oppressed together as it is written. So this is the book of Jeremiah 50 verse 33. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the children of Israel, which is the northern kingdom, okay, and the children of Judah, the southern kingdom, were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. And even to this day, okay, we are still in our captivity, even to this day, because don't let Esau Edom deceive you and tell you that, oh, slavery was done away with, slavery was abolished. I read the 13th Amendment, and there is a clause in the 13th Amendment that a person can be put into slavery if they are a criminal, okay? And the same thing for other parts of the world as well, because you might say that, oh, that only happens in America. What about the other parts of the world? What about our people that are serving captivity in Northern Africa right now under Ishmael, which that was initiated and set up by the Clintons, right, after they assassinated the Libyan president at the time, Gaddafi, and they destabilized the nation to the point where, you know, you had this happening right now, where all these Ishmaelites, started putting our people in captivity and putting our people to death whenever they come into that region, okay? And this is really all, and the cause of all this is, of course, Esau Edom and the wickedness he has pushed on the whole earth, basically by putting our people at the bottom and making us to be, let me get that, a byword and a proverb, which once again is the curses, right? Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field, and you will be a byword and a proverb. And this is all just part of the curses, right? So at least we know why this is happening to our people. We know why our people are suffering and they are in this condition because of the causes. Now, what is the cause of the causes, right? That was anyway. Let me focus on this video. Let's bring it out. Because you also have to, because, and this is the beauty of this truth. No matter, this is the beauty of this is the beauty of this truth, which is why the scriptures say that you cannot come against the truth. Okay, but this is the book of Deuteronomy 28 verse 37, and it reads, thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb and a byword among all nations, whither Yahweh shall lead thee. And our people have become just that, okay? That's why we are at the bottom. That's why all the nations, these heathen, they think they're all better than us because of the curses. But, I've forgotten and I've lost my train of thought. I want to say back to what I was saying, okay, but I've forgotten what I was actually talking about. when I was talking about, yeah, I've forgotten about it. So, like, yeah, maybe the spirit will bring you back. This is the flesh, man. My memory has just been doing anyhow, but just going to continue playing this until I reach the end of what I'm playing. Okay, so yeah, the end of the clip basically. So this is the next part of this video. Okay, I'll just play the audio.
The international, read European finance markets also benefited tremendously from slave mortgages. The slave owners would take out a slave mortgage on a number of their slaves, our ancestors, and then package those mortgages together into bonds, which they would then market all over the world because slave bonds were understood to be one of the safest investments there were. Europeans, the British, they all wanted a piece of the action. The Louisiana Purchase, often hailed as the greatest land
And there you have it. It's the slave bonds packaged and sold all over the world. And that's the thing about the So that's the thing about the transatlantic slave trade. You even have records in somewhere as far as China, okay, Japan. With Yasuke, people often praise him for being the black samurai, but you forget he was a slave, a victim of the transatlantic slave trade. So even they benefited from the slavery of our people, and that was just one example because there are most likely, there are still more examples and more slaves being sold to, those Moabites and the Ammonites all the way in Far East Asia, right? Let me see just some examples of how our people have been sold and scattered throughout the four corners of the earth and put in captivity throughout the four corners of the earth. And of course, as you know, the heathen that were in those parts of the world, you know, they had gotten up. Let me just get this precept. Let me just get this precept. Let me just get the precept since I'm already here. The heathen, the strangers that are round about thee, right, shall get up over thee. Let me see if I can find that precept. This isn't okay enough. Let me go up a little bit. Deuteronomy 28, verse 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt become down very low. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. So even the heathen, okay, that's we're supposed to be above. They are now above us because we are under these curses. And of course, you know the reason why our people, or you should know the reason why our people are under these curses, because of our wickedness, okay, because we disobeyed the laws, the statutes, and the commandments of the Most High, Yahweh Sham Yahushai. So now I want to get this precept. Isaiah 33, verse 1. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou wast not spoiled, and dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled, and when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. And because has already taken over the earth and put Jake at the bottom and put himself at the top, now these devils won't talk about how, oh well, that was a long time ago. Oh well, you should just forget about it, okay? And some insincere apologies about how they made so much wealth of the backs of our people, and our people are still at the bottom with nothing to show for all of that labor, right? For all the labor they have labored, you know, him that worketh and putteth his money in a bag, puts it in a bag full of holes. And yet Esau Edom, yet Esau Edom has acquired so much wealth from the captivity of our people. Because for the most part, when Tariq Nasheed goes into it about how Jake built the US, built America, and built it to become the greatest nation on the earth, we as a people built Babylon the Great and made it what it is today. And he is right, 100% right about that. How there was no America if there is no America if there was no Jake. Okay, basically, these devils made us build the land of our own captivity. That shows you, man. That shows you, man, the most side truly has a sense of humor. But anyway, that shows that the most side truly has a sense of humor. But anyway, let me get this preset in the book of Daniel. That should be Daniel 12, right? That's okay. I think that is Daniel, not Daniel 12. Or is it Daniel 9? Can't remember. Oh yes, yeah, Daniel 9, Daniel 9. Okay. So this is the book of Daniel 9, verse 5. We have sinned and have committed iniquity and have done wickedly and have rebelled even by departing from thy precepts and thy judgment and from thy judgments. Neither have we hearkened unto thy servants the prophets, which speak in thy name to our kings, our princes, and our fathers, and to all the people of the land. O yeah, how our righteousness belongeth unto thee, but unto us confusion of faces, as at this day to the men of Judah, and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and unto all Israel that are near and that are far off, through all the country whither thou hast driven them, because of their trespass, that they have trespassed against thee. So now we know the reason why the Most High came down with such fervor and wrath on our people, because we have sinned against Him, because we are suffering the causes of disobedience, okay? And the transatlantic triangular slave trade, the single greatest historical event on the earth, the single greatest, I don't know what term to use. So basically, transfer of finances of power, right? This, because because if you go into the net worth, or basically the amount of revenue that was made from the transatlantic slave trade in assets, and that includes the buildings, right? That includes the infrastructure that was set up. That includes basically every single part of, or every single business, every single industry that was affected by the transatlantic slave trade, that what it has grown to be today. The amount of money that has been made, is well past the trillions, it's going into the quadrillions, and that is how big our people made this kingdom, okay, through the labor that's, through our captivity, which is why these devils do not want to let you jakes go, okay, because of how, first and foremost, how much wealth you have given him, and secondly, because we are the people. So I end the video right there. So with that, all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashami Awashai, Ba'asham Rakak Wadash, Wa Abad Babal, and through the Spirit, I hope you are Kiama, you are Kwas, were edified. Shalom.